Trumpamania, rule again. Let Trumpamania make America great again.
Hulk Hogan goes perfectly with Trump and MAGA mania. Yeah, the whole Trumpamania is perfect for Hulkamania. I'm old enough to remember this rant that was caught on tape. This was back in 2015. Wrestler Hulk Hogan fired over race outbursts caught on tape. Dude was out here using the hard R N word, and you know he was comfortable with using it the way he said it on that tape. You gotta love how you can find just about anything on the internet. The internet's remembers. Muscled up, mustachioed, and prawn red. The wrestling hero Hollywood Hulk Hogan is now at the center of two controversies that, in combination, deliver a near perfect four-way smackdown of American obsessions with race, sex, money, and violence. On Friday, Hogan, ring name for Terry Jean Bollea, was abruptly fired from the World Wrestling Entertainment after tapes recorded in 2007. So this article came out in 2015, but it happened back in 2007. Revealed him ranting about his daughter sleeping with a black man and liberally using the N word to embellish his point of view. And the crazy thing is talking about Americans' obsession with race, sex, money, and violence goes perfectly with the Trump brand of non consent, race, the way he uses it, inflammatory ways, exactly the how money. Oh my gosh, this matches perfectly with Trump. So these tapes came out because of a lawsuit against Gawker. So it unsealed those tapes. So it says right here the newly unemployed Hogan, who has since described the outburst in which he said, I'm a racist to a point, effing in words with the hard R, as offensive and unacceptable, has now has further problems. The recording is from tapes at the center of a $100 million libel case Hogan brought against Gawker after the site posted film of Hogan in SE Actual Congress with the wife of his best friend, DJ Todd Allen Clem, who legally changed his name to Bubba the Love Sponge. So the whole thing with Hogan being an adulterer, oh my gosh, of course he matches perfectly with Trump. So, he had his whole legal stuff comes out almost 2 decades ago. What is that, 15 years ago? So it makes sense that he finds a camaraderie with Trump. No need to belabor the point. I just wanted to remind us all Hulk Hogan has been problematic, but that is who Trump is trotting out on these stages because what normal thinking people with integrity and actual influence and power that are not problematic are out here supporting Trump. Because people that actually do have some integrity and live some values will probably get booed off the stage. All right, jump in the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. So I've already talked about the quote where JD Vance talks about how the country is essentially run by a bunch of cat ladies, which is obviously not true because there are many more men that are in charge of this country than anything, and is not really run by a bunch of cat ladies. But he and Tucker Carlson, as they're having this discussion back and forth, talking about cat ladies running the country, they really ramp up the vitriol towards single women who don't have children. And he threw in Pete Buttigieg because he is a gay man, but he actually has kids. So that's strange that he even pulled him into the fray. But he said that childless cat ladies don't have a stake in this country and how it's run. And obviously, single and child free men, they are not a problem. It's just the women who don't have a stake in the country. And then he also mentions the ruling class. Like, we need a ruling class with a stake in this country. Who asked for a ruling class, JD Vance? There are some of us that know what happens when there is a ruling class. And I'm letting you know that that ruling class doesn't look like me. So I don't want people like these two ruling me at all. So who asked for a ruling a ruling class, JD Vance? So y'all got to watch this video.
So there are two kinds of people who run for office, and one category is really big, one category is really small. The big category is people who just want to get to office because they want to prove something to their absent or alcoholic fathers, or fill some empty space inside, or have power over you. That's almost everybody. Then there's a small category of people who run for office because they really believe something and they've got something to say. They really mean it. You almost never see these people. One of them is J.D. Vance. He didn't need to run for office, but he is. He's running for Senate in Ohio. And since the second he announced, places like the Daily Beast and the Washington Post and the Atlantic, the axis of protectors of the ruling class, have gone crazy. They hate him. They really hate him. And that's how you know he means it. Well, the latest example came on Friday in Alexandria. J.D. Vance made a pretty obvious point. He said the childless left, that's how he put it, lacks, quote, physical commitment to the future of this country. Quote, why is this just a normal fact of life for the leaders of our country to be people who don't have a personal and direct stake in it via their own offspring? That's what he asked, and they went completely bananas. So we thought it'd be interesting to talk to J.D. Vance about what he meant and what it's like to be attacked for saying things that are so obviously true. He joins us tonight. J.D. Vance, thanks so much for coming on. So tell us that was just a very short snippet of a much longer speech, and a really interesting speech that people, I think, should read. But what were you saying?
Thanks, Tucker. And by the way, if folks want to help us out, jdvance.com. Every little bit helps if you can throw us a couple bucks. But look, what I was basically saying is that we're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. And it's just a basic fact. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children. And how does it make any sense that we've turned our country over to people who don't really have a direct stake in it? I just wanted to ask that question and propose that maybe if we want a healthy ruling class in this country, we should invest more, we should vote more, we should support more people who actually have kids, because those are the people who ultimately have a more direct stake in the future of this country.
Back on. Tucker.
And then as I was scrolling today, I found this article. J.D. Vance caught quietly deleting his 100% pro-life position from his website. But thankfully for him, I had already grabbed a screenshot of that part from his website, and I actually read it on video a couple of days ago. So I will make sure to replay that, because since he quietly deleted it, that means that we need to highlight again what it said. But let's just do some of this article. Smbortion is one of the defining issues of the 2024 election. Now, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, the GOP's presumptive vice presidential nominee, is trying to conceal his past opposition for the procedure in all cases. On Tuesday, J.J. Abbott, former Pennsylvania Democratic Governor Tom Wolf's press secretary, combed through Vance's website and found that a page explaining his stalwart opposition to Smbortion is no longer publicly viewable. As of Tuesday evening, Vance's website, jdvance.com, now redirects to Trump's campaign website. Don't worry, I'll show exactly what it says, so you don't have to worry. If he wants to redirect, if he wants to delete stuff, it's okay. It's still there. We know what it says. Shortly after the right-wing senator was selected, Politico noted it was on Smbortion where the Biden campaign and its aides and allies have focused much of their immediate attention, an issue that Democrats believe is a key vulnerability for Trump and that would be a critical element in a potential debate between Vance and Harris. The news outlet also emphasized Trump has sought to neutralize Smbortion as a winning avenue for Democrats by saying he supports letting states decide the issue, even if it was his Supreme Court justices who enabled the fall of Roe v. Wade and saddled the Republican Party with a lightning rod issue that became a major factor in the GOP's underwhelming performance in the 2022 midterms. And that's one of the reasons why I'm choosing to highlight this again, because the red wave that was supposed to come, it was a red trickle. They really were supposed to smash the midterms because of how unpopular Biden was, but they didn't because of the fall of Roe v. Wade. Although Vance has since toned down his far right Smbortion views to more closely align with Trump's political ads that past remarks on Smbortion and women and his subsequent attempts to modify them are providing Democrats running against Trump with rocket fuel for their strategy on Smbortion rights.
But here is a screenshot from his website. This one is in Smbortion. I'm 100% pro-life, and I believe that Smbortion has turned our society into a place where we see children as an inconvenience to be thrown away rather than a blessing to be nurtured. Eliminating Smbortion is first and foremost about protecting the unborn, but it's also about making our society more pro-child and pro-family. The historic Dobbs decision puts this new era of society into motion, one that prioritizes family and the sanctity of all life. The pro life fight continues by ensuring that every young mother has the resources to bring new life into the world, expanding adoption and promoting pregnancy centers so that every child grows up in a loving home as they deserve. We'll expand child tax credits and ensure young parents don't come home from the hospital with budget busting surprise bills. I'll end this by saying, remember, he said this back in 2021, universal daycare is class war against normal people. One of the things women have said about one of the reasons why women don't want to have kids is because childcare is expensive and scarce. So remember that this is what he said as well. Anyways, we will be keeping an eye on this, obviously, but the Twitter is where you can go to gather all of these tweets. Jump in the conversation. Let me know what you think about this pick. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.